and hosting this priceless experience exclusively for MasterCard, you guys, the MasterCard card holders. It's called Reset and Recharge. I'm going to show you some really cool techniques that you can do at home or in the office using just a belt. I'm going to use my yoga belt, but if you don't have a belt, you can use any kind of belt. You can grab your neighbor's belt, your boss's belt, you choose. And then we're going to do some self-massage techniques for the tennis ball. So let's get started. We'll get you standing, grab your belt. We're going to start with the belt high above your head. And I just want you to take a deep breath in. In fact, we're going to do 3 deep breaths. And let's just drop into this present moment. Deep breath in. And just release any stress that you brought with you this morning. And let's just get present and let's get moving. Right, we're going to start with just stretching our shoulders a little bit. So we're going to take the belt to the front. We're going to breathe in as we come up and breathe out as we take it behind. We're going to do this 3 times. Deep breath in and breathe out. Are you with me? Just warming up through the shoulders. Deep breath in. Let's do one more for good luck. Okay, stretching high above the ear. We're going to take the belt down behind our back, squeezing our shoulder blades back together, smiling. Stretching up. And do 3 more of these, opening through the front of our chest. Sorry, and up. 2 more. And 1 more. You guys better be exercising with me. I don't want to be doing this all by myself. Okay, we're going to do a stretch to the side. Stretching down as far as we can go. Top hand going to the roof, and we're going to look towards our top hand. We're going to take a deep breath in. And breathe out. And stretch a little deeper. Come up and go to the other side. Looking up towards the roof. Deep breath in. Breathe out. Stretch a little deeper. Should be feeling a nice juicy stretch down your side. Deep breath in and come up. And back to the right. How's everybody today? Deep breath in. Good that you're moving now. Come up. And back to the left. Deep breath in. And breathe out. And back to the... We're going to go short with the belt. We're going to take it high above our heads. We're going to come down. Just get a nice stretch into the lower back. Let's just shake things out a little bit. Let's get a feel for what feels tight, what feels loose. Taking it across to the right. And take it across to the left. Grab your belt. We're going to come back up into standing. Pop it onto our shoulders. We're going to go into a small squat. And we're going to do a twist through the spine. Moving through the spine, stretching out to the sides. Deep breath in, come to the front. And go into the opposite side. And do 3 of these on each side. Ooh, it's hot in here. This is like hot yoga. I'm sorry. We've got no air conditioning. Stretching out to the sides. Deep breath in as we come back to the middle. And twisting to the side again. Do the last one to the left. Come back to the middle. Straighten your belt a little bit. We're going to do a little stretch on your neck. So place the belt behind the base of your skull, hands out in front, and we're going to tuck your chin under and gently come down. Don't pull too hard. Take a deep breath in there. And breathe out. Breathe in as we come up. Open through the front of your chest, looking up towards the roof. Come back down again. Bow to the base of the skull. Coming forward. Don't pull too hard, but a nice stretch down your back. Breathe in and come up. Looking up towards the roof. And again, last stretch. Coming down. Coming back up. Okay, now we're going to do a twist in the forward position. So flat backs, coming forward, bout behind you. We're going to take the right hand to the left foot, looking up towards the sky. Deep breath in here. And breathe out. And we move to the other side, looking up towards the sky. Deep breath in. And breathe out. Let's speed them up a little bit. We're going to do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, let's come back up into standing, stretching up, doing the first exercise again, just loosening off those shoulders. Everybody's starting to warm up. I'm definitely warming up in here. Okay, now we're going to do go into a lunge position. We're going to do some work on your hip flexors. So we're going to do a lunge. We're going to come down and up 3 times. 2, 3. Okay, and we're going to do a stretch into your hip flexor. Then leaning forward, tucking your pelvis under, and then we're going to stretch to the opposite side. We're going to hold it there for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. We'll come back up into standing. Swap the legs over. Left leg in front. We're going to go down 3 lunges. 1, 2, 3. Stretching forward. And stretching to the opposite side. 10, hold it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're working hard. Okay, we're going to come down into the plank position. So let your belt on the ground for a minute. And we're going to just, again, get some rotation going into the spine. We're going to drop the hips down to the side. And do 3 on each side. 2. Deep breath in. We go. 1 more. And relaxing down. Okay, we're going to get a little bit of a rest, lying down onto our tummies. And we're just going to do a nice stretch through the lower back. In this position here, we're just going to explore what feels a little bit tight. There's no rules when we're moving. It's all about just exploring what feels good, what feels tight, and if you find a tight spot, we spend a little bit more time moving through that. Be a little bit playful, be a little bit creative. We're here, we're moving. Okay, gonna come up, go back into child's pose for all you yogis. Just a nice lengthened stretch through the spine. Now we get a little bit of a rest by lying onto our backs. And we're going to do some hamstring stretches. So put the belt around your foot. We're going to lie back. Initially start with your knee bent. And then we're going to straighten that leg. In that position there, we're going to actually do 10 toe points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I'm just tennis ball out of the way. Put your belt into your one hand, and we're going to drop your leg out to the side, and we've got to get a nice stretch through the groin. We're going to hold that for 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back up to the middle. And this time we're going to swap hands with the belt, and we're going to take it over to the other side and get a nice stretch through the lower back. Hold it there for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And come back up again. Okay, and put your foot into your chest. Get a stretch through the glutes. Lengthen through the other leg that's on the ground. Holding that tight. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great. Let's swap sides. Putting the belt onto your left foot. Holding it in one hand, and we're going to drop it out to the side. Feeling a nice stretch across your adductors and into your groin. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring your leg back up. Crossing across the other side. And holding it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, let's start doing some work with the tennis balls. So the glute exercises, which are these muscles, big muscles here that we spend a lot of time sitting on and not stretching enough, are actually really hard to stretch. So the tennis ball is a great way of releasing tension in your glute muscles. So we're going to start with popping the tennis ball under my right glute. And the idea is that you start with a massage, and then you find what we call a trigger point, which is a part of the muscle that's really tight. And you'll find it because it's just that little bit more sore. And once we find that trigger point, we hold that point, and we just relax into it, and we take a deep breath in, and we relax into it for 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, let's swap to the other side. So start with a massage. So moving around on the tennis ball until we find that tight spot. And then we'll hold it there. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great. Another good stretch for your glutes is in this lovely yoga pose, and we can actually put the tennis ball into your hip flexor. Same thing again. We roll around on it until we find a tight spot. And once we get into that tight spot, we relax into it. So hold that position. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And in this position, we can actually put the tennis ball into the glute on the other side. And again, stretching down. Come down to your elbows, and we can rest on that tennis ball into that tight spot. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And swapping sides. Start with the glute this time. Moving into trigger points and relaxing onto it. Such a great way. You can use the tennis ball in your chair when you're at work. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And onto the other side. Okay. How are we feeling? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then we can actually just use the tennis ball for all massage. So we can just do some rolling on it. So here we've got the ITB, which is a muscle that gets really tight with runners. So it can be hugely useful, just releasing the tension in the muscle there. And then we can come down and roll onto your calf muscle as well. And actually one of the best things the tennis ball is used for is actually your feet. And so you can do this at work as well, under your desk. Have a tennis ball, keep your shoes off, and give yourself regular foot massages. Person next door will be wondering what you're doing. Okay, and the other really great place for a tennis ball massage is at your pec muscles to open up through your chest. And so again, just stretching into that area, finding those tight spots, and holding it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the last technique is you can use the tennis ball. Oh, you can lose the tennis ball. Sorry. You can use the tennis ball for what we call rolling. So you can actually go into a squat position and roll up and down your spine and give yourself the most amazing massage. Again, finding those tight spots up through the neckline, up into your upper traps, tends to be really tight just between your shoulder blades, and then coming into your lower back. You can find a tight spot on one side of the lower back. Again, holding and breathing into it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And swapping sides. So good to release that lower back. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I guess for the tennis ball, you can massage anything. So be adventurous, be playful. And with the yoga bout, if you don't have a yoga bout, you can use any kind of bout or any kind of towel. But these exercises are just so great because you can do them anywhere. And there's no rules when you're doing movement. Movement is about exploring the way that you move, feeling what feels tight, what feels sore, and just doing what you need to do to get your body moving better. I think we're going to do some questions and answers now. I've got a question. What do I do if I don't have a bout like yours? I think I just answered that. So you can use any kind of bout. You can use a towel. What else could you use? Even a t-shirt. Just anything that you can get that length of. You can use anything. Rope, skipping rope. Be inventive, be playful, be creative. If I want to buy an exercise bout, what do you suggest? Well, I definitely suggest the yoga bouts, and you can get them at any yoga store. There's so many online shops, Amazon, that you can get. The yoga bouts are great because they have a really good clasp. They're strong, they're durable. I've never worn out the yoga bout. I lose them before I wear them out. So, I definitely suggest a yoga bout. How tight should you be holding the tension in the bout? Well, it changes between exercises. Obviously, when you're doing the neck, it's really gentle. But you can be a little bit stronger when you're doing the hamstrings. So you just have to get a feel for what you can do in terms of moving your body through the movements, how much pressure you can put on, breathing and relaxing into and getting the stretching. I never knew a tennis ball and bout could be so comforting. Well, yeah, it's really, really relaxing. And look, always have one on hand. Like, I would put one next to your sofa at home. And so you're sitting watching TV, you can have a tennis ball, be doing your glute exercises, and just nourishing your body at the same time as when you're watching TV. What a great time to do it. What helps cramps? I mean, cramps is one of those unknown things. It can be really individual. I personally find stretching really effective at making sure that I don't cramp. So when I was racing, I did a lot of stretching. I think you've got to be really careful with your hydration as well. So electrolytes in your water, monitoring how many carbohydrates you might be taking on when you're racing. I mean, there's a whole wealth of knowledge in that area, but definitely stretching has a positive effect in terms of reducing cramping. What yoga kit do you take when traveling? So on the road, I have everything. I always have a belt. I don't always take a tennis ball, but I have my own Theragun, so a massager. But generally, I think the yoga belt is the most important thing, but like I said, you can actually just use a dressing gown belt in your hotel room, can be very useful as well. So that's the only thing I tend to take because I have a lot of other things in my bag, so I don't want to take too much with me. How many times a day can I help? Oh, okay, how many times a day can I do these exercises? Oh, these are great. I would do them as a movement snack. So we did 20 minutes of exercises, which literally you could do 3 times a day if you're at work. Just take 20 minutes to stand up from your desk and do some stretching. Really important to keep lengthening through the spine, keep rotating, keep twisting, and just try and give your body a little break from sitting down. I personally, if I worked in an office, I wouldn't have a sitting desk. I would be standing and dancing while I'm doing work. But yeah, you can do them as many times a day as possible, but ideally, just, take those little moments like every hour and just do a little stretch, try and keep your body moving. That's the important thing, is that you're just not staying still. Is there anything I can do to help with balance? It's like everything, use it or lose it. So if you're not practicing balance, then you will lose your balance. And so you need to just do exercises. So a great balancing technique with a belt is actually just going into balancing type techniques, and you can use your belt to actually just challenge you in those different kind of areas. But it's about just practicing it. So taking up new sports, doing different activities that challenges your balance, takes your body outside of its normal routines, will help you with your balance. Yeah. What are some good movements for back and torso? Well, I think we went through quite a few in terms of the lower back stretch, particularly if you're a predominant sitter. This is a really great stretch for your lower back. I mean, if you have a problem with your back, you should go see a physio or a chiropractor, because obviously if you've got an injury, you need to make sure you're doing the right kind of exercises. But generally, just any movement is good for your back. Obviously rotation, stretching forward, extensions. But yeah, just generally keeping it moving. We know that lotion is motion, or motion is lotion. So the more that we move our joints, the healthier they are and the happier they are. So yeah, keep it moving. Is it important to do these exercises in a certain order, upper versus lower? When I do exercises, I always like to start with the spine and particularly with rotations, because that's where the spinal cord and all the nerves actually go into your muscles. So I like to start on the upper part of the body, extending through the thoracic spine, and then doing rotations. Then once I've got the spine warmed up, then I start looking at the upper body and then into the lower body. So that's how I do it. I don't think there's a specific way that's one better than the other, but that's how I tend to do my exercises. Is there a more solid ball you recommend if the tennis ball compresses? I think you need to be pretty strong to compress a tennis ball, but maybe a hockey ball or a cricket ball. There's so many different kinds of sports balls, or pétanque balls if you're French. But yeah, just anything around the size would be perfect. I love the tennis ball exercises, never done them before. Yay. Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of fun. And I think the biggest thing about exercises now, that we all get so structured with what we're doing, at the end of the day, you just want to explore what feels right for you and what feels good for you. So tennis balls are just such a great way of you actually getting more aware of your body and how it moves, how it feels, getting more in touch with what's actually good for you. And yeah, it's fun. It's honoring that inner child. What is good for tarsal tunnel syndrome? So Tennis ball exercises, perfect. You can do lots of different movements with your hand. So if it's in your hand or in your feet, so you can do fascia rolls, like we talked about before. We can do fascia rolls on your feet as well. So, and then strengthening, lots of calf raises and wobble boards, and just generally moving and getting strong. I have knee issues. What can I do for upper body only? I think we went through loads of exercise today you can do for the upper body. So you can so instead of running, you could do swimming, you could do weights in the gym. There's just so much you can do. I don't think there's anything that really is limited by knee other than obviously running. But yeah, like get in the gym, get out playing. Pétanque is in my mind now that we've been talking about France. Do some upper body weights. You can Pilates. I think all exercises can be moderated for people with knee injuries, so don't feel limited. And yeah, just decide what you want to do, and then find someone who can help you modify some of the exercises because of your knee problem. Hard to give you advice because there is a lot of information there to give, but I have trouble getting on my knees sometimes. How can I modify to protect my knees? Well, you can do all of those exercises in standing, you can do all of those exercises in standing, but you could also modify them. I guess you could use a mat under your knees, and it is difficult. We could do it in sitting as well, which can be really great. So doing them from a chair, and you can still do all your upper twists and your rotations in the sides. And then when you're sitting in the chair, you can do all your ball rolling as well. So I think sitting in a chair would be a really great option for you. Will you be able to access this as a replay? Yes, I believe so. I don't know whether you want to see another 20 minutes of me doing that. Okay, and let's see. How do I release tension in my lower back when I'm sitting at work or at my desk? Well, straight away, I would get up from your desk and move. And I would start with the kind of exercises we just did there, some rotations, maybe some forward leans, some extensions. You can do your extensions in standing, just putting your hands in the lower back and extending back. And yeah, it's about movement, right? So like being in one position for long periods of time is where we get stiff and sore. So just doing things that take us out of those normal daily routines is where you're going to improve your mobility and reduce tension. I cannot touch my toes. I have a bad shoulder. What do you recommend? Recommend to learn to touch your toes. I mean, you could do it in sitting. And so we can actually just lean forward from your trunk. You don't actually need to be moving out with your arms. You can still be getting lengthening in your hamstrings. And then we did those beautiful exercises that I just showed you today in terms of your hamstring stretch. So touching your toes is around having hamstring flexibility. So there's loads of ways that you can still strengthen or lengthen your hamstrings without having to actually lean forward with your shoulders. I'm healing from a shoulder fracture. Can you offer some stretches that will help my recovery? Okay, so it depends where your shoulder fracture is, but I'm assuming it's going to be around the head of the humerus, which is really common. So those stretches we did there in terms of the tennis ball in your pec is just fantastic. The other thing is you can get a TheraBand, so we can do some resistance strengthening exercises across the front of the shoulders. But generally, anything that's going to open up through your chest and allow a little bit more movement in the front of your shoulder is going to help benefit the movement of your actual shoulder. I tend to hyperextend my knees. Is there some type of stretching that will help? With hyperextension of the knees, it's really important more around the strengthening. So we're looking at the calf strengthening, we're looking at the quadricep strengthening, the adductors, getting stability around the knees. It's a hypermobility problem, so it's more about actually strength than actually about stretching. I have lower back pain that goes down to my right leg all the way down to my toes. What exercise can I do? Straight away, I would say go see a physio or a chiropractor or an osteopath. someone of those sorts of qualifications, it's really important to get a diagnosis of what that problem is before you can actually offer exercises. There's so many great exercises for the lower back, but without knowing exactly what the problem is, I can't offer you some information. So sorry about that, but make sure you go and find someone who's really useful and helpful in this area that's going to help you. Any good releases for migraines? I think any of the stretches to do with the tennis ball, the tension releases with the tennis ball, and then obviously the stretches we looked at, the lower part of the back, with the lower part of, with the belt just behind the base of the spine. You can actually take them and do stretches to the sides with the other hand, opposite hand, in behind your back, and you can start releasing through here a little bit more. You can do that without a belt. I find anything that starts releasing the tension through your upper traps and the muscles around your neck quite often will give a little bit of a relief for migraines. Massaging into these areas and just at the base of the spine can be really great as well. So you can do self-massage, and then you can do lying on your back with the tennis ball again and massaging into that base of the spine. And that can be really great for holding for 10 seconds again, just finding those sore spots. And it can just release a little bit of tension into those areas. Thank you for the session. I had a headache most of today and now it's gone. Fantastic. Yay. It works. Thank you for sharing that with us. And again, like headaches can be from a lot of tension in the upper part of your back, your thoracic spine. So just getting that movement, the stuff we did at the start of the session in terms of the shoulder movement, can be really useful at releasing tensions that are caused from those areas. What hip stretches can you recommend? Oh, the hips, loads of really great stretches. This absolutely is one of my favorite because we're getting the glute stretch and you're getting your hip flexor stretch at the same time, moving into that sort of area. Obviously on the back, we did earlier on with the glutes and the tennis ball, so rolling that way. We can do adductors as well, and leaning forward, going into the groin. There's just so many great ways to stretch your hips. We actually didn't do this one, which is a really nice hip stretch as well. So we're taking hamstrings and stretching out to the side. Can be really great as well. But yeah, there's so many different ways that you can stretch. But just find things that feel great for you, things that work for you. What is the best way to get relief with tight shoulders at the base of the head? So the tennis ball, the best way is either in standing, which I showed you earlier on, but if you want a little bit more specific, it's lying on the ground, putting the tennis ball between your shoulder blades, and again, you can just open up through your back a little bit, go into a little bit more pressure on that area of your spine, find those tight spots, and then breathing into them and holding them. And you'll generally find in the area around T4 is a really tight area. It's right in the middle of the shoulder blades, or you can move up a little bit higher, just at the base of the spine, doing the same exercise. You can add in the pressure from the top with neck movements, or from the bottom with movements of the lower part of the back. Sometimes I feel sore over my groin area, so I've felt discomfort during the leg extension exercises. Can tennis balls massage solve my issues? Absolutely. So the tennis ball massage is so great. So with the groin, you're probably going to have to work into this type of position. Actually, the groin is actually quite hard to do with a tennis ball. But I'm just trying to think if you can do... Yeah, I think the groin's actually, what you can do with the groin is I would do more of a massage a little bit lower down into the adductors. So the muscles in the groin are actually higher up, but you can actually release those muscles around the knee. So I would work a little bit lower down. Good question. That got me thinking. Can you show us a few more for the feet? So, I mean, for the feet, it's just literally about rolling. There's obviously the plantar fascia, which is this major fascia gets tight through the foot, so we do a lot of work through that. You can just open up through your toes a little bit. And then some people get heel pain, so it can be really nice for the heel as well. So that's a great one. I have sciatica. What do you suggest? Again, any problems with pain, I would go see a specialist. So important to get the right diagnosis. I can't give you any advice without really knowing what's going on, but certainly some nice movements. Everything we did today, but not pushing it through pain, but just taking it through movement, comfortable movement I would say would help. So I would start with those sorts of exercises. What is good for forearm stretch? Okay, so the forearm stretch, we can do the prayer and the reverse prayer. We can take it out to the sides and then stretching back. All these exercises are just great to get those muscles of the forearm. Thoughts on foam rolling? Thoughts on foam rolling. I love foam rolling. I do it more than the tennis ball, and in fact, I'm more likely to take a foam roller on the road with me than tennis ball because it's bigger, and you can get a greater massage through more of the body. So yeah, I'm all up for foam rolling. I do a lot of it. It's really great for the lower back. You can do it for the glutes. You can do it for your adductors. It's fantastic. Any ideas for shoulder pain? For the rotator cuff. Okay, so strengthening. So getting TheraBands, elastic bands, a lot of external rotations, a lot of strengthening exercises. Again, I would make sure that you are getting advice by the right people, but I would be doing tennis ball on the pecs and through the front of your shoulders, a lot of opening up through the thoracic spine, lengthening and rotating through the thoracic spine in this area to make sure that the shoulder has the right base to move from. So there's a lot we can do with that. I sit all day. How can I strengthen my hip muscles? Get a standing desk. So hip muscles, I mean, choose any sport that you want to do. I mean, we use our hips for in walking, we use it in running, we use it in all movements. Pilates is great. Pilates is such a great combination between strengthening and mobility. But yeah, just choose something you enjoy and do more of it, and sit less is the reality. What is the simplest way to stretch my whole back? So I think for me, the rotations are really great. So we did that earlier on as well with the band. Absolutely, this is my favorite juicy stretch for the lower back, and it just allows the whole spine to open up and get segmental movement going through the back. What is any ideas of wrists that are very weak? Again, strengthening. So a tennis ball works a really great idea because you can do some squeezing on it and just moving it around. There's loads of different little machines that you can use for hand strengthening. Rock climbing shops have got plenty of them, but basically just again doing more of that type of exercise, just strengthening them up. I mean, when you talk about wrists being weak, you can talk about the big muscles going across them as well, and again you can get little weights and different types of exercise that you can do for your wrists. You can certainly strengthen your wrists. Great session on the tennis ball. Makes so much sense to relieve tension. Thank you. I think I'm so glad that you guys are liking the tennis ball work, and it's just something practical that you can have on your desk and use. And I've said it a couple of times, but I'd really like to just demonstrate, like when you're sitting on a desk, you can do your glute stretches. So you could be typing and you can have your tennis ball and you can actually be doing some release techniques while you're working. So it's super practical in that area. Can you lay on a bed and do some of these exercises? Bed's a little bit soft. You'll find that the tennis ball will disappear on a bed. So you need to be on a firm floor. So maybe a table if you can't actually get down onto the floor. So I would suggest that when you're doing stretching, that you're always on a firm base. Are these things we can do to combat hunching? I'm thinking slouching. Yeah, so all the extension exercises we did at the start, where we're opening up through our chest, we're lengthening through the spine, and squeezing your shoulder blades back in together is really important, getting that mobility to stop the hunching. And then you can do any sort of strengthening exercises in terms of gym work or band work to actually get the muscles working a little bit stronger. And again, maybe look at getting a standing desk. And when I say standing desk, like I've just started writing a book and I've now spent 3 weeks in front of a computer, and I don't have a standing desk that is actually a standing desk. I literally have 2 boxes and my computer goes up. So it's just about like being inventive and just changing the position you're in during the day. So you don't have to go out and buy a fancy standing desk, but maybe you spend the morning sitting and then the afternoon you put a couple of crates on your desk and you get into a standing position. And that while you're standing, you can actually just move more when you're typing and you're actually just more active. And I just think I really can't reiterate enough how that can really solve a lot of problems. What is my educational background, and can you tell us about your professional experiences? I'm actually a physiotherapist by trade. I started physiotherapy, or I qualified as a physiotherapist back in 1997. I've been working in high performance sport now for 25 years. I started with the British Olympic team with 100 and 200 metre sprinters. And then I've been working in Formula One for the last 7 years, which has been incredible. But during that time, probably not so much physio, but working more as a performance coach and working holistically around nutrition and psychology and just general health and well-being, which has been really exciting and hugely expansive for me. Physio is still always going to be my trade and knowledge in this area, but obviously now I work more in a holistic way, knowing that you need to be the best you can be. You need to be covering, yes, everything about the body and nutrition, but you also need to be working on the mind and obviously the spirit as well. So thank you for that question. One of my fingers is locked in a bent position sometimes. Their hand stretches. So yeah, that tends to be a problem with the actual tendons, and it might be something that you might again go see the doctor because it might be a simple surgical technique that you might need releasing. But again, like simple hand stretches, literally you can do the prayer, the reverse prayer. We can do the extended hand and the forehand, and then just any sort of movements. And I think again the tennis ball can be really great for that as well. So you can just move it around with your fingers, and again you can do that together and start getting some stretching through those areas. So tennis ball is a great one. So I think we're running out of time. Thank you so much for coming. It's been a hot and sweaty afternoon, but hopefully a nice break for you from work. I can't reiterate enough how important it is to move. And I think, during the day, saying one load of exercise during the day is just not enough. Like if you can get in every hour, or if you can get in like 5 minutes where you just get up and move, your body's going to really appreciate it. So thank you for joining us for this priceless experience. Follow me. I'm Cullen_Angela, and tag MasterCard #priceless if you're sharing this session. Visit priceless.com to find more experiences, including the last of this series, so the last of the Recharge and Reset series with Chef Sam Talbot, which I'm certainly going to be tuning into because he's an amazing chef. So I'll be really interested to see what he's got to say. So thank you. I hope you got some interesting new techniques out of this today. But just be playful with movement. Like, don't restrict yourself. Be creative. We tend to do all these yoga and Pilates, but even those, if we're doing the same things over and over again, we're doing repetitive movements. So just be playful, just explore how your body moves, find what your body likes, do what you love, and just keep moving. So thank you very much.